Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We have a set of notes shared with us by a listener, and they center on the work of a man named Mike Hayes. He's the producer and reporter for senior.aipodcast.com.
And these notes, they revolve around an organization called the Senior AI Foundation. They call it SAFE for short.
And specifically their big initiative, which is called Education Allies.
So our mission for this deep dive is, I think, to go beyond just the surface level announcement. We need to get into the core philosophy.
We really have to dissect the power, the practical purpose, and frankly, the critical need for a foundation like this.
And it all seems to hinge on this one central concept. It's a phrase they use over and over again, the active ally.
Yeah, so we're not just, summarizing what their website says. We need to unpack the belief structure behind SAFE. We have to understand why this idea of human allyship is so critical on what these notes keep calling the AI frontier.
Well, and if you had to boil it all down, right, to the one sticky concept in these notes, it's this.
Go on.
The need we all have for active allies in just our everyday lives. That need is magnified, maybe exponentially, when you're facing something as complex and as fast-moving as new technology.
So it's not really just about seniors, then?
Not at its core, no. It's about a structural gap in how we, as a society, are adapting to AI.
I have to say, I'm really drawn to this focus on allyship. It immediately lifts the whole conversation beyond a simple tech tutorial, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. The notes seem to imply that AI literacy isn't about reading a manual. It's about having a trusted guide. Someone in your corner.
A guide, exactly.
And, before we get into the program details, we should probably define the playing field here. When the source talks about the AI frontier, what does that actually mean?
Good question. It's not just about ChatGPT, is it?
Not at all. It refers to the pervasive, often invisible automation of really crucial life services. We're talking finance, telehealth, even how you participate in civic life.
Things that are fundamentally changing how people access resources and, I suppose, maintain their independence.
Precisely. And navigating that new landscape, it requires human support because the terrain is just constantly shifting under your feet.
Okay, let's unpack this. I think we should start by establishing the context. So Mike Hayes, his connection to the podcast, and how that whole documentary framework really sets the stage for what the foundation is trying to do.
Sounds good.
So we'll start with Mike Hayes, producer, reporter, the guy whose notes we're digging into. The material is very clear that this whole push is connected to an ongoing AI documentary series.
And I want to pause on that word, ongoing. It seems small, but it's far more significant than you might think, especially when you're talking about AI.
How so?
It signals a long-term strategic commitment. This isn't a one-and-done educational product they're creating.
Right. It's not a textbook.
Not at all. If you are documenting the AI space, covering things like machine learning, large language models, synthetic media, you know that it is a moving target. The half-life of knowledge in this sector is incredibly short.
That makes so much sense. I mean, just think about the last 2 years. The landscape has completely changed. If you made an intro course on how to use a specific AI tool last year,
it's already out of date.
It's ancient history. Prompt engineering, model updates. It's obsolete.
Exactly. So a static resource on AI is almost useless the moment you publish it. By framing this as an ongoing documentary series, SAFE is signaling two really crucial things to its audience.
Okay, what are they?
First, a commitment to continuous, updated, real-time context. And second, that they see the AI challenge as a continuous story, a narrative, not a problem that you just solve once.
They're building a living narrative around the technology.
A living narrative around its human impact, which is the key.
And the choice of a documentary format itself feels very strategic. It suggests they're focusing on storytelling, on human impact, real-world examples.
And moving away from, dry technical jargon.
Exactly. It's about making this abstract thing, AI, feel approachable by showing what it does in real people's lives.
And that storytelling element, it's a powerful teaching tool. It humanizes the tech instead of explaining the math behind a neural network.
Which would put most people to sleep.
Right. The documentary can just show a senior successfully connecting with their grandchild using some AI-enhanced video chat. It shows the utility and it reduces the fear all at the same time.
And the delivery mechanism is also super specific in the notes. The series focuses on the power of AI podcast, listening on the go.
Yeah, that detail gives us a huge insight into their whole approach to accessibility and efficiency.
Let's break that down.
Yeah.
Why is listening on the go so important here?
Well, if we analyze that medium choice, it reveals a really deep understanding of their target audience and, frankly, modern habits in general. For you or me, for the general learner, it emphasizes efficiency, right? You can multitask.
Listen while you're driving, exercising, whatever.
But when you tailor this specifically to the senior demographic, which SAFE is doing, the benefits go way beyond just efficiency. It becomes about essential barrier reduction.
Okay, explain that. What barriers are we talking about?
Think about traditional digital literacy programs. They often require a huge time commitment. You have to sit down at a fixed computer screen.
Navigate interfaces that can be really complex, high contrast.
You need fine motor skills for typing. All of those things can automatically exclude a big segment of the senior population, maybe because of physical limitations, vision impairment, or just plain old screen fatigue.
So by making the content audio-based and on the go,
the learning becomes mobile. It gets integrated into daily life. It overcomes all those barriers related to physical complexity. If you're someone dealing with mobility issues, learning while you're, doing chores or just resting in your favorite chair is so much more effective than forcing screen time.
It's a really critical insight into democratizing access then. They're meeting the listener exactly where they are.
It's brilliant, really. They're using this cutting-edge technology, AI, but they're teaching people about it through one of the most accessible, low-tech barrier mediums there is, an audio podcast. It's a very smart way to bridge that gap.
And Mike Hayes' notes, they clarify the purpose of this whole effort. It's about sharing the benefits and the purpose and the need for SAFE.
SAFE believes there are structural deficiencies in how AI education is being handled right now.
Okay, let's start with benefits. What specific tangible upsides would this documentary series need to highlight to really matter to a senior audience?
The benefits have to center on three things: utility, safety, and independence.
Utility, safety, independence. Got it.
Utility means using AI for practical stuff. Think AI-driven scheduling for multiple medications, or tools that can transcribe a complex medical report from a specialist into plain, simple language.
That'd be huge.
Yeah.
Okay, what about safety?
Safety is about combating digital threats. Using AI to detect those deepfake scam calls that so often target older people. Or AI-powered filters to catch email phishing attempts before they even see them.
And independence. That feels like the big one for this demographic. So the benefit isn't just the tech itself, it's preserving autonomy. It's allowing people to stay in their homes longer and more safely.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's benefits. Now, the purpose of SAFE, it seems to go beyond just individual utility. It's more about societal inclusion, right?
Precisely. The purpose, and by extension the purpose of the documentary, is to make sure that AI doesn't become this new insurmountable barrier that creates digital isolation.
Or deepens the generational divides that already exist.
Yes. It's about using the tech to foster connection, to maintain civic relevance, and to ensure people can keep participating in the digital world. The purpose is empowerment through integration.
Which brings us to the need. Why is this level of sustained, structured support needed right now? I mean, tech support has been around forever.
The need comes from this unique combination of, 1, the rapid pace of change, and 2, the complexity of AI itself. With previous tech shifts, the user interface might have been complex, but the logic underneath was, deterministic. You click this, that happens.
But AI isn't like that.
Not at all. It operates on probabilistic outcomes. It's unpredictable. And that complexity, if you don't address it, it leads to fear and avoidance and total digital exclusion.
So the need is for a translator.
Yeah.
A reliable, human-centered interpreter.
An interpreter to guide vulnerable populations through a transition where the rules are constantly being rewritten. And that interpreter, powered by these active allies, is what SAFE is trying to be.
So the documentary and the podcast, that's the outreach. That's how they inform seniors about the benefits. But the real engine for change, the thing that bridges the gap between the fear and the benefit,
is the core philosophical driver, the active ally.
Right. So let's dig into that. The notes make this really powerful general statement that grounds the whole thing in human psychology. It just says, we all need allies.
And this is where the notes really pivot, I think. They go from a strategic announcement to a pretty profound philosophical statement. By starting with that universal truth that we all need support and connection and validated information, they make the leap to the complex world of AI feel much more manageable.
They humanize the tech challenge by framing it as a relationship challenge.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's be a bit cynical for a second. We should be, as critical learners. Isn't this just a rebrand of good old-fashioned tech support?
Right.
What makes an active ally any different from, say, the digital navigator programs we saw pop up during the pandemic?
That is a crucial distinction, and we have to make it. The difference is in that word active and the depth of commitment that it implies.
Go on.
Traditional tech support, even those digital navigator programs, they often work transactionally. You have a problem, they give you a one-time fix or a quick tutorial.
Right. Here's how you install the app. Done.
But an active ally, as it's defined in these notes, is different from a passive supporter. They provide active, continuous help and support during a time of need.
So it's about the relationship continuity, not just transactional fixes.
Yes.
So it implies involvement and action and this continuous invested relationship built on trust.
Exactly. We're talking about people who aren't just, AI aware. They're committed to doing something with that awareness. You need someone actively on your side, providing actionable intelligence and verification, not just a one-off instruction.
And this whole philosophy, according to the notes, it didn't come from some corporate focus group. It came from a really relatable, personal place for my case.
Yes, the note highlights this reflection he had that even his wife needs to find out if I am on her side about this issue with that issue having to do with the family. It's kind of a surprising origin story for a tech foundation's ethos.
But it instantly grounds this abstract idea of AI support in something so profoundly human, doesn't it? It suggests allyship isn't a fixed status you achieve. It requires this continuous confirmation, this investment of emotional currency.
And that insight is so powerful because it reveals the emotional barrier to adopting AI. Imagine how much more essential that reassurance is when you're facing something as intimidating and alien as the AI frontier.
It totally reframes the mission. The challenge of learning a new AI tool is almost secondary to the anxiety of having to tackle it alone.
The goal of the active ally is to mitigate that anxiety, to provide that continuous confirmation. Yes, I am still on your side about navigating this new software even after the big update.
The complexity isn't just the tech. It's about trust. Trust in an era of rapid, confusing change.
Yeah.
The ally is the known quantity, the translator, the filter.
And a source of emotional stability.
And the notes connect all of this directly to right now, stating, today, in the AI frontier, that's probably more true than ever. So let's dive into that. Why is this uniquely true for AI compared to, say, the internet revolution in the 90s?
I think we can point to 3 specific characteristics of the AI frontier that make this need for active allies really unprecedented.
Yeah. First, we already mentioned the speed of change, but what's the practical effect of that on someone's confidence?
Well, the pace of innovation means that expertise is constantly being redefined. It's not like learning a desktop operating system where you could master it and that knowledge would be good for 5 years.
Right.
Today, core AI functionalities, best practices, even the ethical guidelines are changing. Monthly. This means the senior learner can feel like they're perpetually behind.
So the ally isn't just teaching a skill.
No, they're modeling how to adapt to continuous novelty. They're essentially teaching the process of perpetual learning itself.
Okay, that's one. What's the second factor?
The sheer volume of information overload and, frankly, misinformation. It's terrifying.
And a huge danger, especially for vulnerable populations.
It's maybe the greatest danger. So the ally serves as this critical filter and translator. They help the senior distinguish between a genuine, useful AI application like a reputable transcription service for doctor's notes and the sensationalized, fear-mongering media narratives.
Or outright financial scams using deepfakes.
Or those, yes. The ally helps build critical discernment, which is now a basic survival skill on the AI frontier.
Okay, so speed of change, information overload. And the third factor has to be the technical complexity itself, right? The black box nature of AI.
Absolutely. The black box is the core issue. When an older computer program made a mistake, you could usually trace the logic. You could figure out why.
But when a large language model makes an error?
The reason is opaque. It's buried in billions of parameters and data points. They provide the emotional and informational support that allows someone to get a foothold on this expanding, often opaque frontier.
So SAFE isn't just a tech training program. It's really a commitment to human connection. It's rooted in this belief that continuous active support, the active ally, is the only way to navigate this technological turbulence with any confidence.
That's the foundation of the entire thing.
Now let's zero in on the consequences of that turbulence for the primary audience here, seniors. The notes identify the reported state as feeling lonely or empowered. That tension is really interesting.
It is. That contrast, lonely or empowered, is absolutely central to understanding SAFE's strategy. Loneliness stems directly from digital disconnection.
The feeling of being left behind.
It's the feeling of being unable to use the systems everyone else just takes for granted. You can't complete a simple online task. You can't communicate with your family on the new app. You can't access government services because they've all moved online. Technology, when it's inaccessible, becomes a source of profound isolation.
So if they're stuck in that lonely state, the technology is failing them. The goal is to get them to empowered.
Right. And empowerment suggests agency capability. Look, some seniors are naturally tech-savvy. They've adapted to previous digital shifts. For them, AI is a massive opportunity.
To do what?
To enhance their capabilities. Using generative AI for creative writing, or managing complex schedules, or even improving their cognitive function with personalized digital games. SAFE's mission is to move the people who feel lonely, the ones frustrated by the frontier, into that empowered camp.
And the mechanism for that is providing a reliable human connection to the technology.
Exactly. And the source material is very clear on that. It says seniors need to understand the power of connecting with active allies who can help them with their everyday problem-solving needs.
That connection is the direct antidote to the digital isolation.
And this is where the mission moves from theory into very practical application. We have to drill down into what everyday problem-solving needs actually means in the context of AI, because it's a lot more complex than just, fixing a printer. For cognitive security, for financial security, the everyday problem is just trying to distinguish reliable information from a very sophisticated scam.
So what can the ally do?
An ally can teach them how to use certain browser extensions or even simple generative AI tools to, say, summarize a complex legal document or research reliable sources. But, and this is where the ally is absolutely crucial, they teach critical verification.
What do you mean?
They have to explain that even the most confident-sounding AI output from even the most sophisticated LLM requires human verification, always, especially in high-stakes areas like finance or health.
And what about just daily life utility? Like navigating these complex systems that all rely on automated customer service now.
We've all been there, right? The frustration of dealing with an automated phone tree or an AI chatbot for your insurance or your bank.
It's infuriating.
Now imagine you're a senior who might already be feeling isolated. That process can make you just give up on the task entirely. The ally might not make the call for them, but they're there. They stand ready to explain the chatbot's limitations, offer strategic phrasing to get past the automated filters, or explain the complex jargon the AI system is demanding.
They reduce the psychological barrier of technical frustration.
Yes. In essence, the ally becomes the human interface that makes the intimidating AI system feel predictable and safe. It allows the senior to regain control and actually use the tool to solve their real-world daily challenges.
And the entire system, it seems, is designed to enable one critical behavioral shift. The notes call it the core lesson. SAFE wants to teach seniors.
Which is, it never hurts to ask.
Such a simple phrase, but it speaks directly to overcoming these huge psychological barriers of, shame, hesitation.
Absolutely. When you're staring at a screen that looks like it's in a foreign language, or when a family member impatiently tells you to just click this, the instinct, especially if you have any fear about perceived cognitive decline, might be to just retreat, to avoid the task completely.
And that retreat is the exact moment that digital isolation starts to take root.
Yes. So by teaching it never hurts to ask, SAFE is reframing the entire interaction. Asking for help is no longer a personal failure or a sign of incompetence.
It's reframed as the essential first step, an empowering, proactive action you take to find a solution.
It validates the inherent difficulty of the AI frontier. It's basically saying, look, this technology is complex, it's changing every day, it is okay to feel lost, and it's okay to need help, and we have dedicated, active people ready to provide that help without any judgment.
So the psychological safety that this active ally structure provides is, you could argue, more valuable than the technical knowledge itself.
I think you could. The ally provides a safe, trusted, continuous space for that asking to happen. They foster the trust that the AI systems themselves so often lack.
It links this vision of an ongoing documentary all the way down to the intimate psychological reality of needing help with an everyday problem that involves some opaque algorithm.
Okay, so let's move from the philosophy to the mechanics of how they're actually going to do this. The notes confirm that SAFE is launching the Senior AI Foundation Education Program for Learning on the Go.
which immediately brings us back to that accessibility theme we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But now we see it's a structural component of the education program itself.
Right. The design has to accommodate the reality that many seniors just can't commit to a rigid schedule.
So learning on the go suggests what? Modular micro-learning.
I would think so. We're probably talking about short, digestible segments of information, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, max. Things you can easily absorb while you're doing other daily activities.
And that drastically reduces the activation energy you need to start learning about something as complex as AI.
If learning about AI feels like this massive, months-long project that requires a trip to a community center, a lot of people are just going to avoid it.
But if the information is broken down into these high-impact, audio-based chunks that are available instantly on your phone,
the barrier to entry is dramatically reduced. It aligns perfectly with the goal of encouraging empowerment through low-risk engagement.
the notes emphasize the ongoing requirement to recruit allies who believe in what we are doing.
That point really underscores the non-static nature of this ally network.
So why the need for continuous recruitment?
First, there's the expanding demand. As the documentary series succeeds and highlights the benefits of AI, more and more seniors will realize they need help. The demand for personalized, one-on-one active ally support is going to grow exponentially.
A static pool of allies would get overwhelmed almost immediately.
So to maintain a vibrant, reliable network that can actually support problem solving, you need continuous reinforcement. You need a constant influx of new people. The ally has to see this as a social mission, not just a casual tech help role.
What a safe active ally needs to be. What are the core qualities?
I'd say first is deep empathy and patience. The ability to recognize that the learner's struggle is with the system, not with their own intelligence.
That's huge. Yeah. What else?
Second, continuous technical fluency. The frontier moves daily, so the ally has to be committed to their own learning on the go, staying on top of new AI tools, data privacy shifts, new scam vectors.
So they have to be a lifelong learner themselves.
Constantly. And third, I'd say the ability to translate complexity into utility.
SAFE is tackling a dual challenge. They have to get enough allies, but they also have to maintain a high-quality control over their skill set.
If they fail at that, the whole philosophy of continuous active support just collapses back into what it was before, transactional, one-off tech help.
And this brings us to the dual request of the organization, which defines the active ally's full function. The notes say allies are needed not just to learn themselves, but to provide support in teaching seniors.
And that clearly defines the comprehensive role. The active ally is a learner, a supporter, an educator, and a disseminator of the core message all at once.
They're the human infrastructure of the foundation.
They are. They need the technical training to understand the AI frontier, and they need the relational training to teach that foundational lesson that it never hurts to ask.
So they're not just a technical resource. They are integral to the foundation's educational structure and its psychological mission.
That's the crucial point. The ally is the conduit through which that central lesson is delivered and reinforced again and again. Think about the need for rapid training. If a major new AI tool drops, say, a huge health data integration platform SAFE,
the documentary informs, the program educates, and the allies empower through actionable, continuous support. So we have done a really comprehensive deep dive into these notes from Mike Hayes and the Senior AI Foundation, focusing on this powerful concept of the active ally. Let's quickly recap the essential findings for you, the learner.
The Senior AI Foundation, or SAFE, is using an ongoing accessible documentary approach to highlight the benefits and the necessity of AI education for seniors.
And this whole effort is driven by this core universal philosophy that continuous human support, the active ally, is just non-negotiable on this rapidly evolving AI frontier.
And this allyship is very strategically targeted. It's aimed at overcoming the twin challenges seniors face in the digital age, which are feelings of loneliness and potential disempowerment.
And enabling them to use this complex technology for really practical, everyday problem solving. Things in health, finance, and just basic connectivity.
Operationally, the foundation is launching a flexible learning on the go program, and it's relying on a logistically very challenging continuous recruitment effort for allies.
Allies who are driven by the belief that teaching seniors that it's okay to ask for help is the essential, empowering first step toward knowledge and security in this new AI era.
And that dedication to continuous, active, and belief-driven support is really what separates SAFE's approach from just simple technical assistance. It moves AI literacy into the realm of a relational, sustained human commitment.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, this deep analysis of the active ally concept, it brings like a pretty profound question for the future, doesn't it?
It does. We established that the complexity and the rapid change of the AI frontier necessitate a dedicated, belief-driven human ally.
Which suggests that the technology itself is so volatile or so opaque that it can't stand on its own. It requires a human interface of trust.
Exactly. Will the next generation of human active allies be needed primarily to teach us how to critically verify, safely use, and ultimately trust or mistrust the artificial ally? That shift in focus that defines the next frontier of support.
That is a fascinating shift in responsibility and definitely something worth mulling over. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. And remember, whether you're facing a technological challenge or a personal one, you never have to go it alone. We encourage you to seek out your own active allies.
Until next time, stay curious and keep digging deeper into your sources.